they're out there warming up, Johnny Lindell. He missed the ball.
Yeah.
And I was standing behind him. And I grabbed the ball and started running. And
didn't he chase you out of the stadium or something?
Well, it's a practice field.
Yeah.
But he chased me.
Hi guys, sorry to interrupt.
It's fine.
Are you doing like an interview right?
So did he catch you or?
Well, he got close, but then when we hit the cement, he had cleats on.
Yeah.
And
so whenever he was trying to get you in the cleats when he was on the cement, he was just fumbling around everywhere.
But I ran 2 blocks, probably 2 or 3 blocks.
Jeez.
And stayed ahead of him.
That's crazy.
Ran into my uncle's garage, closed down the door. Because he started yelling, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna kill you.
And you went back and then you had him sign it. But you were right there handing them, talking to them, like, here, will you sign this? I'm the kid who ran away with the ball yesterday.
Yeah.
That's awesome. For some reason, I thought you had that handed down to you.
No.
It'll have been a week tomorrow from when my grandfather passed away, and I cannot believe that it's already been a week. But he broke his hip about a month ago, and then he underwent surgery, and then after getting the hip surgery, he never really recovered. He was very confused. The dementia was getting really bad, and they started putting him on more and more medication, and I think he was ready. He was ready to go. He was ready to be back with the love of his life. Incredible person. He helped so many people in this world. And he really helped shape me into who I am today. So I just kind of wanted to make a tribute video and just recognize some of his accomplishments and the impact that he had on not just me, but so many people. So he was a minister. His father passed away. His father was in the Vietnam War and was an alcoholic, and passed away when I think my grandpa was 12 years old, and my grandpa had 4 sisters and he was the oldest. So similar to me, I have 3 sisters and I'm the oldest, and then whenever he had children of his own, he had 3 daughters. His last name was not going to continue because he didn't have any brothers, so the last name was going to come to an end. As the first grandchild born into the family, they named me Michael as my grandpa's namesake to, continue the Michael namesake in honor of not just my grandpa, but anyone, all of them who had that last name. I was named Michael, and I always felt like I had a really strong bond with my grandpa, and I think that might be because, he saw a lot of me in himself. We both played basketball. We both enjoyed winter sports. He was actually a ski instructor as well. If you ever met him, he would be sure to tell you that he was a ski instructor as well as a minister. I felt like I was like the closest thing to a son that he had and had ever known before. So, whenever I would get around him, I just felt like, he really was trying to leave an impact with me, and he loved to spread his wisdom and his knowledge with others. Now, he wasn't your traditional minister or pastor. He was quite ornery. He got to be quite ornery, especially as he aged. He wasn't quite sure where that fine line was between, a joke that was suitable for children and a joke that was perhaps intended for a more mature audience. He would always tell me stories, tell my friends stories. And it's hard to tell, how much of it was true or how much he was embellishing, but he was always just such a great joy to be around. Just always willing to listen to anyone. He started the pastoral care program at WVU. He was the original director, which is like whenever people are on hospital beds and maybe they want some guidance, they have pastors who will go around, visit the rooms and say prayers with them and just comfort them. He traveled all around the country, as far away as to Hawaii, to participate in disaster relief assistance. So he was actually a counselor and would travel on site to these locations and act as a friend and kind of like someone that, you know, someone could lay their shoulder on and cry if they wanted to, or just speak what was on their mind if they lost their home or they lost loved ones. My grandpa was there to help and offer any assistance that he could. He wrote me stories all the time, and the main character in these stories was a person by the name of Image. Now, Image was essentially me. Image was intended to be me, he just didn't want to use my name because that would be just too blatantly obvious. If he heard like I was going through a difficult time or something through my mom, I don't know, maybe he was just even thinking back on his days, like, you know, what he went through, and he was writing those stories based off that, think that it helped me. Anyway, he has a whole bunch of stories, so these are a good bulk of his stories. You can see Grandpa's stories right there. I'm not gonna read you any of these. I mean, look how many stories there are here. Image gets his name, Image and goals, Image faces failure, developing imagination, considering your worthiness, making friends, listening to God, name calling, playing is okay, who's the boss. That just shows you the type of man that he was. He loved to write. There's a couple little other things that I just want to read here that I just found in my room. Be your true self, follow not your friends, but be your own self with your own decisions as to what is right for you. Being the best you can possibly be starts with belief and peace within yourself. Breathe deeply and say to yourself, the peace of God is with me. External criticism will only improve my skills. If a mistake occurs, you learn from your mistake and choose to improve. Remember that you have large quantities of love from your God, family, and friends. So these were just little quotes that he wrote that I kept in my room, always visible. For the 4 days before he passed, me and my family, we were right by his side. My mom didn't leave the hospital for all 4 of those days. She didn't even step outside. It was about the most beautiful thing that you've ever seen. So my grandma's favorite song was Amazing Grace, and I don't remember if it was my mom or one of my sisters. They said, we should play Amazing Grace for him. So my sister brought it up on YouTube. She brought up a Amazing Grace version. I believe it was by a country singer, and we played the song for him, and we sung along. And after that song ended, my grandpa took his final breaths. And how remarkable is that? I mean, that it's stuff like that that really makes me believe in miracles and like that there is something greater out there. I mean, despite we hadn't played any music for him in any of the days leading up to that. And then all of a sudden, someone just said, let's play this song. They love this song. It's one of their favorite songs, and we play it, and then he passes immediately after that. And we all just start crying. It's just, you know, it's something out of a movie. It's some greater force, and you know, he's a man of God. And it's just, it was a miracle, and it was beautiful. And he was unresponsive for those last 4 days, and I'm just glad that he's at peace now. His mind had checked out, but his body was still working. I did not know Nova was still back there. Anyway, Grandpa, Vaughn Jefferson Michael Jr., thank you for showing me how to live in gentleness and how to be warm to others. I'll continue to keep trying to make the world a better place in the best way that I know how. Because purpose, like you taught, purpose of life is to find a life of purpose for others.